Hi, this is Michael Kennedy. Appreciate you joining our Microsoft Live Events training. This is a re-recording of the first half of the training as I forgot to start the recording on time. So welcome back. I'm Michael Kennedy, Customer Success Manager for the state of Texas. On the line with us, we have Grant Oliastani. Grant is a technical specialist, and he is going to be going through the live event training and the demonstration in the second half. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cover for about 15 minutes the Teams meetings versus live events and really talk about what are the capabilities in the Office 365 platform that are included with your subscription. And then we'll go into a deep dive with training and demonstration and then questions and answer session as we get into part two. So in your Office 365 subscription that each of the agencies have, you have two different types of meeting platforms that are all part of Teams. So you have meetings that are called Teams meetings that are really designed for up to about 250 attendees. This can be one-on-one or group video calls. You have a single meeting organizer, and anyone in the meeting can share content, audio, and chat. You can invite internal audiences. You can also include external participants. If you have the conferencing audio SKU added to your subscription, then you can have attendees dial into the meeting. Or if you do not have the conferencing SKU, then you can use the Teams client to join the meeting. That can be the Teams client on your PC, your Mac, your tablet, or your mobile device. You can also join from a web browser on the most modern web browsers such as Google Chrome or the new Chromium-based Microsoft Edge browser. So with the Teams meetings, you have rich video and interactive discussions, and you have on-demand cloud recordings like what we're doing here. So that is a Teams meeting. Now, there's a different type of meeting that you can also set up through your Teams client, and that is called a live event. A live event is more focused, if you think about when you're watching the news, the evening news, you will have a broadcaster, a newscaster talking to you. You're not really talking back to them. They are sharing information with you. And that is more of the style of a live event where you have one or a group of people who are sharing with a group of attendees. The attendees are able to engage through a moderated Q&A, but they are not able to talk to the presenters. This is really can be a specific good use case for our agencies would be town hall style meetings, one to everyone employee meetings. These can be used for public hearings. We have multiple agencies who have a legal requirement to have public hearings and engage their constituents and their audiences. They can be used for that. And so we actually are going to have some specific training to follow regarding using live events and the Teams meeting platform for engaging with the public for these mandatory style meetings. So right now, you have the ability to have up to 10,000 participants join into a live event. You can actually, another part of your platform for using for meetings is called Stream. That is the back-end video system. And you can actually have up to 100,000 attendees join a Stream-based meeting. So a lot of options, but we're going to focus on live events here. So you really have the ability to have a very controlled environment. It is a very orchestrated environment. As Grant goes into with the demonstration, you'll see that there is some technicalness to the production of a live event, but it is certainly something that is manageable by you and your agency staff with a little bit of training. And myself and our teams at Microsoft are certainly willing to help you both with training on how to use live events, as well as really give you a white glove service for those first very important live events so that we make sure that goes off really well, make sure your leadership look good, your presenters look good, and your IT group or your support group and communications look good during the presentation. So when you look at a live event, this is the interface that they will see over here on the right-hand side. It is in the context of the Teams client here, but you'll see that down below it says live, and so that means that you're watching this coverage live. You can also go back. It's one of the settings is to go and watch a live event that was recorded and made available, so you can have it for on-demand viewing. And then over here on the right, you'll see that there is a Q&A, and Grant's going to go into a lot of detail on the Q&A, but it is a moderated Q&A. And so if one of the attendees asks a question and the moderator wants to publish that so that everyone can see the question, they have that option to publish it to the general Q&A, or they can answer that question just in the moderated Q&A, and the attendee will not see the name of the person answering their question. It will actually just say moderator. And so when you are creating a live event, you have a variety of roles who are part of that. You can have presenters and moderators, and then you have your attendees. So we'll get into more detail on that again in the demonstration and in the training that Grant's going to provide. And so when you're looking at a live event, we have a couple of scenarios. This is something that can be done on your individual PC using your webcam. You can have a variety of presenters that join in that are sharing items that are either on their desktop, like a PowerPoint. You can share videos that have been pre-recorded, and you have to check the little box to share your system audio so that when you're showing a video, the people on the other end, your attendees, can hear the audio coming through the video. And it can be done very easily using the systems that you have, your laptop, webcam, audio speakers, headphones. Now, you also have the ability for larger discussions, conferences, to bring in a third party that has high-end cameras, high-end microphones, and really have a professionally produced event using Microsoft Teams live events. And so just know that you do have options. There are third-party service providers that can do this, or if you have a communications group that has a lot of experience with doing these types of higher-end productions, then they are able to use live events as a platform. And the audio can be streamed to an audio encoder in case they're wanting to capture that or run it through some audio encoder or mixing system. So there are capabilities for that professional grade production. As I mentioned earlier, we definitely have scenarios for public-facing live events for our agencies where we have the agency staff, they have the production of the meeting and an audience view, and then through the partnership with AT&T and some of their technology, we actually have the ability to have external callers call into a queue that can be moderated and maintained, and then bring the external audience, the public, into the meeting to give a testimony, give feedback. You're able to control who's joining the meeting, announce who that person is, and then control how much time during the meeting. And then if they started to say something that wasn't appropriate, then you could remove them from the meeting. You have an online external audience over here via Teams, whether that's the Teams client or a web browser. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can video encode this and have it go to a streaming service such as YouTube or Facebook streaming or another service like that. So some of our customers that are governmental agencies here in the state of Texas are in the commercial tenant, and then some are in the GCC, the Government Community Cloud, which is the government tenant for Office 365. In the commercial tenant, when you click in the lower left-hand corner of your Teams client, you'll see an option for training. In the commercial cloud, that will actually bring up an interface to a series of videos that are available, and there are a series of short videos on live events. In the GCC, the government tenant, you'll see instead links to different, there'll be text-based training, and then there will be links to online training and videos that are external. And those are not hosted right inside of the Teams interface where you have access to click on the videos themselves. But there is a strong variety of training that's available at office.microsoft.com, as well as on YouTube, for training on how to use live events and how to use Teams meetings. So at this point, let me go ahead and wrap up this first section, and we're going to go ahead and hand it over to Grant Olisani, and that's going to be a second video. And so just click the next video in the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch that video as well. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, and look forward to visiting with you soon and helping you with your Teams meetings and your Teams live events.